Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our review. I am Trask now, and today we are going to be reviewing Netflix's Extraction, starring Chris Hemsworth, written by one of the Russo brothers who brought us, and it's produced by Bros. Endgame, Infinity War, Captain America: Winter Soldier, a bunch of great MCU stuff. But before we get into this quick review, head down in the description below. You got your video and audio feeds. You can find us everywhere. If you can't, let us know. But pretty much everywhere your main providers we're going to be. As always, head over to Patreon right now because as when we're doing this as a group, as you can see with Patreon, or as you can see with the podcast because of COVID, we're remote podcasting and less movies to talk about nowadays, right? All these movies getting delayed, this and that. That's why I'm reviewing Extraction for you because not many movies I watched went, okay, let's talk about this and we'll have some things to talk about. But on Patreon, whether it's the dollar tier, $5 tier, $25 tier, whether it's the Feige Fighters tier, Back to Formula, best tier yet, what is thy bidding, my master? All the tiers we have. You get all the perks as usual, early episodes, episodes that are ad-free, so every single episode we put out, zero ads whatsoever. You get the commentary tracks. You go to the $5 tier, which is the Feige Fighters. What is coming next month? Spider-Man is coming next month. The Tobey Maguire one. We had lots of fun, but we've already done Suicide Squad and Mortal Kombat. Those are exclusive to Patreon and Patreon alone. Lots of other casts are exclusive, or things like How the Dog Retro or Catwoman Retro, which are timed with Wonder Woman and Eternals, and those are going to push way back. So you can get lots of stuff, but also with any tier. Usually it's a $25 tier, but any tier right now you can recommend a movie and we are reviewing it. We've done tons of stuff. We've done Snowpiercer, we've done Darkman, we did Dragon Ball Z Broly. Next we're doing Dragon Ball Evolution, which is crazy because I watched Dragon Ball Broly and I was like, oh, I might be in this. I should check out Dragon Ball. And I'm excited to watch what's going to happen when people have told me this is one of the worst Dragon Balls ever. This would kill my hype for it. So, or it is the worst Dragon Ball type of property, whatever it is. So that's going to be a good one. We got a newscast. We got lots of stuff. And then maybe an announcement next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, something really good cooking up. Yeah, we got some stuff cooking. It's going to be a good thing. But today, we're talking about Extraction. So as I was just saying, this is a movie I probably would have watched it with, because it's April, not too much stuff going on. Like, let's say the world was back to normal. We had New Mutants, Bond, and a few other things. But I probably still would watch it because Chris Hemsworth. And check it out later. I'm going to be reviewing My Spy. Very similar situation. But this is a movie, and now I'm talking about Extraction, and even My Spy. But you can check that out after. Extraction is a movie you have seen dozens, hundreds of times. The biggest pro I could say for two things. One, Hemsworth brings it. He's not bad in this movie. He's good. I think Hemsworth has just got to a different level. The two times where I thought that was Bad Times El Royale and Infinity War, because Infinity War, he was the best part of that, and they made him do some really great emotional stuff. I always shout that scene, but that scene of him talking to Rocket and crying and laughing at the same time, pitch perfect acting. Bad Times El Royale did a completely different performance that I wasn't expecting, and he's on my man crush list now, and he's really blown me away. So he, to me, has kind of, like I said, he keeps getting better as an actor. Or anything like that, but I just mean nothing that I look and go, oh, you really need. He could have done this from now, and he could have done this when he was, just getting in acting. It's definitely better now that he's doing it, but it's not something like that crying scene in Thor or Bad Times at Royale. I feel like, oh, he really had to hone his skills as an actor, and he's gone better, so that's why he can do this role or do this scene. This is the best way I can describe it. It is Call of Duty the movie. This is exactly Call of Duty the movie. Might be a little bit different because it might be in the war and you get multiple characters. But if you've played Warzone, check out our review. If you've played Warzone, this movie is you got a character who's in the war. He's like a former veteran, whatnot. And of course, he's wrapped up in some CIA stuff. And we're gonna talk about some spoilers. I'll give you 3, 2, 1 when we get there, because I cannot wait to talk about the ending because I absolutely despise the ending of the movie. The rest of the movie, I like to think it's fine to meh. It's a movie, like I said, you've seen a bunch of times, but it's literally a character gets dropped down. He has to extract something out, extraction, and it's just his adventure to get from point A to point B with this package. And the second part that I'd say, the action is really good. If you've seen people kind of comparing John Wick, I would say it's that. I've only seen John Wick 1. I got to do the whole trilogy now before the fourth one comes out, just because it's always a movie that's we've told the story that with the second one we went to go see and it was sold out, so we never got around to. And the third one we're gonna go watch them all and something happened. So it's always eluded me. So I'm gonna binge the trilogy one day. But I've seen the first one, And it is like that, but that's the thing that's missing is interesting characters, interesting story, interesting setting. The setting where they shoot is nice. But you have things like I think it's the Continental. No, that's the SNL skit, isn't it? I can't remember. But they have that hotel right in John Wick where it's like all these assassins being up and there's rules. There's this cool lore to it. This is literally just this guy has a package he has to get from point A to point B. Big spoiler: the package is a person, so you kind of get some connection there. But everything as far as Chris Hemsworth motivation, because they set up some things at the beginning, to just certain plot points they're gonna do. You've seen it so many times, and that's the frustrating thing. It's just especially because Hemsworth produced this, and the Russos. To me, I did not see. I believe it was Community they did right before they did like Winter Soldier and everything like that. I had not seen that, and so I didn't see that 21 Bridges thing with Chad Boseman either. But it seems like everything they're doing outside the MCU is not really like hitting it out of the park, and I was like, it sounds bad. I was really disappointed when the credits were happening because I actually do stick around for the credits, not just because it's just like the MCU training. It's just like for the most part, when we get to that black screen, I got kids, so yeah, maybe I'll be out of there. But I like to see the top billing people, so I know okay, who wrote it, who produced it, who casted it, things like that, so I can see those names down the line. When I saw Joe Russo wrote it, my heart sank a little. Not because this is a bad movie. This is not one of those movies like, man, why your name to this? It is just to me. I expect. I won't say expect. I just hope for a higher quality thing. It's the same thing, which I'll talk about with my spoiler for that review. It's just the only reason I could see Hemsworth maybe want to do this is you get to go shoot a different location. That might be cool. You get to if you want to just do a pure action movie, then cool. Then I get that. But I just don't see what would have been the case for him to star in this, produce it, and the Russos produce it, and one of them write it. And I don't think he wrote the whole thing. I think he wrote the story, something like that. Maybe I'll up at the end of the review. One of the writers, so he had a hand in it. It's just if you want, just looking for a look, there's some dark stuff. Like I said, extraction like war movie. If you're into Call of Duty War, if you're looking, you have David Harbour who's also in this, and other than that, I don't think there's anyone of too much note, no one that I could point out. So, and David Harbour's like a nice little performance. It's not a big role or anything like that, but so those are the itches. Those are who I would recommend it to. But if you're looking for some, I I watch because I'm a Hemsworth fan. So like I said, if all those boxes check off, then go watch it. But if you're still on the fence and you're like, oh, I would really like to see a new movie, I think there's older movies or older TV shows you could catch up on. It's only I think maybe hour and a half, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up here. But I still think there is other things that I would recommend. Like as I'm scrolling, I see like this Defending Jacob by Chris Evans dropped the same day apparently. Like maybe check that out. Go check out a show you've missed. I just don't. There's nothing other than those boxes that I mentioned that I would say, oh, you gotta go see this because it's just you've seen it before and you've seen it better too with better stories or better characters, whatnot. Let's see, Extraction. Tyler Rake is his name. Tyler Rake. 6.9 IMDb. How long is it? It is almost 2 hours. So there is parts where it doesn't seem like a long watch, but there was also parts that were bored and maybe took me out a little bit and I just didn't care because the action is really good, but the relationship they have, and this is just minor spoilers, but the relationship he has with this person he has to extract is very base level, and they make it seem like a lot heavier than it actually is. With the amount of time they spend together and the conversations they have, they should not care this much about each other, but somehow they do. So yeah, I'm going to get into spoilers in just a second here. So I recommend it. Like I said, you're looking for just anything new to watch. It's there. If you like kind of brainless action or you want, it's good action. If you love action movies, I'd say check it out. You'll have an enjoyable time. And if you really like Chris Hemsworth, those are what I recommend. Everything else, if you don't hit that, like I said, I think there's better things to watch. As far as a rating, I'd give it, I would give it a 6 out of 10. But because the ending, I'll give it a 4.9 out of 10 because I have to fail it because the last 15 of this movie suck. And there's a fine line between just an average generic movie. And that's what was happening. The whole movie, to me, you always get a 5 or a 6 out of 10, where a 6 is like, it's either a movie that is made terribly but has some great moments, or it's a movie that from start to finish is made competently. Acting's good, like shooting's good, the editing is just average. Like it's just like you got everything right. It's like if you were to make a I don't know, a burrito and everything tasted fine. It didn't taste bad. You've had better burritos, but it's like this is a competent burrito. It filled me up. That's usually what I give at least a pass to, and that's why lots of movies like a Solo or Rogue One, I still like pass them because I'm not the biggest. That's weird to throw out right now with all the content. So go back to all our reviews, but those are movies that I don't think are the greatest. I think they're pretty lower tier as far as Star Wars, but I'm not that person since the podcast. I've always said that there's so many people that if they hate like 2 scenes in a movie, it's a fail or something like that. I always try to grade it overall, and then I've been doing like an enjoyment grade and a film grade. For enjoyment, I think it would be the same thing, like a 4.9, and we'll get there in the spoilers because stay tuned. The ending bugged the shit out of me. So I'm gonna give you the spoilers. I'm gonna take a drink of my chocolate milk here. 3, 2, 1. So the ending. Do I want to start with that? Or should we build up? Let's get into it. Well, kind of, because honestly, the only thing I have to say mostly is about the end and the child and the kid's relationship. Because the kid, I think they said his name was like Obi or something like that. I think he's maybe somewhere between 13 to 16, something like that. So it's something where, and it's just some generic plot where somebody's son and these war crimes got caught up into it. So he's like, or some guy got caught into these war crimes, so they go to kidnap his son and use it as leverage against him. So this kid is an innocent. He's just looking to live his life, and Chris Hemsworth has a team, and he's sent to go get this kid. First of all, when we get introduced to Chris Hemsworth, it's super cheesy 80s stuff where he's with some buddies at like a mountain and there's water underneath. They're looking, they're like, that's kind of high. Like, oh, I'm not going to jump that. And Hemsworth just wakes up out of a slumber and just jumps with no care. They try to make it feel like it's a deep emotional thing, but they also try to make it feel like it's badass. And I don't know. It was cheesy. There's stuff like that in the 80s stuff that I love, but there's just a certain line now of if you're gonna go for that cheese, then you gotta go all the way. And maybe they weren't trying to go for the cheese because the big like thing in this movie, which I don't think was that big, because they just even before they show the clip, you just know something's wrong. He jumps in this water, and it looks like he's not going to come up for air. He does, but then as he's in the water, you start seeing flashes of waves and whatnot, and he sees child footprints. So obviously, okay, the kid's dead. In an hour, you get revealed, oh, yeah, he was married, had a family, his kid died. And they had, like, a nice little hook or a potential hook that I liked of. So, and I'll get to the ending, but we'll build up to it because I don't have that many things to add, and it goes in towards this ending and my problems of it. So it's the quiet time because all the action is good. I think the action was solid. I had a fun time watching that. Anytime the action was going, I was hooked. I think Hemsworth knocked it out of the park. I think they did some creative stuff. I think the chases were fine, but it was all the hand-to-hand, the way they shot it. They did a lot of, kind of one continuous shots action. There was some cuts in between. You could, I at least think, because most time when you see that, whether it's Birdman or in Daredevil, if you're ever wondering like how do they pull that off, sometimes they actually do the full shot, but something like Birdman, obviously the whole film's not like that, right? So with me, if you're watching me on the camera right now, and then all of a sudden like you see Ray in her box where she's not open, she comes by and you see how like I'd be completely covered like that, and then they move it away, and that's to show that, oh, just something was blocking. In the movie, we just went by an object, but really that's a place where they could stop and then continue like another scene and just pick up and make it look like a one shot. So they do that. But that all worked, and it looked good, and all the action, I give that I don't know, an A, a high B plus. Like I guess I could even give it an A. I thought it was really well done. And Hemsworth does it all, pulls it off well. So all the downtime is, and same thing. So we meet David Harbour. This is where all of it is. He gets the mission. He gets the kid. It's a bunch of action, 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 action. They need a place to lay low. They find David Harbour, who's like a buddy, and he's not going to turn on us, right? Of course he turns on him because the kid can. If he gives the kid over, it's lots of money. It's like worth $7 million and stuff. And again, there's like little signs. There's like little pivots of there could have been a more interesting movie. And there's 3 things that happen in this sequence where he's talking to Ovi, this kid, and this kid out of nowhere is just fucking grilling him, and not in a way aggressively, just like, do you have a family? Yeah, I did. Or like he's just like, were you married? Or are you married? Yeah, I have a wife, but I haven't seen her in a while. What's your home life like? I don't know. It's not the greatest. Do you have a son? Yes, I do. Where is your son? I get it because the way the movie is and its movie world, and plus what is happening in the movie. But I don't think I've ever in my life said like, hey, I don't know, John, how's it going? Good. Like, let's say I'm meeting someone at work for the first time. You have a son? Oh, that's cool. Where's your son? And like, like I said, the movie's trying to make it seem that because of all this chaos and what he's talking about, that maybe the son of the marriage is falling apart. So where is he? But they could have. It just goes right into like, where's your life? Where's your wife? Where's your son? Like, you're married? Do you have a family? Where's your son? It's just clearly trying to force the issue to get Chris Hemsworth to talk about his dead son, and the dialogue did not feel natural at all. These people spend a day, a day and a half together, and when Chris Hemsworth is getting shot near the end of this movie and looks like he's about to die, Owie is just like, he's running to, no, no. You would think it was his father, his brother, someone really close to him. And I get this guy saved his life and they have like a mini connection, but one, I thought that connection was really forced in the way they did the dialogue. And two, I talk to people all the time. And of course, if someone's child passed away, I'd feel very bad for them. But I don't know if I'd be connected as Ovi was. Is like it felt like these guys had been together for weeks, maybe. But no, that's not it. So that would have been more interesting if they. Oh, what I was saying, what would have been interesting in this conversation, he's talking about how brave Chris Hemsworth's character is, and he goes, "No, man, I'm not brave." And he tells a story about how his kid has, I think he said lymphoma and have cancer, and then he passes away, and then he chose to be on deployment while his kid was sick. So that's why he said, like, I'm not brave. Like, I left my kid dying. That is something that there's not as so much more you could expand on it because it's just a dialogue and unless there's flashbacks, but that idea of him leaving his son because he couldn't deal with it, I think is something more you could have talked about with other characters. David Harbour hints at a little bit because that's the other thing I like, that it just turns into a fight and then Ovi kills David Harbour. But Harbour's like, hey, I want to turn this kid in to get the money for myself, but also for you because you need to get out of this life. And they talk a little bit, like maybe a few more dialogues about that, and then boom, 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 and it's in the fight. It's like, oh, like there was something possibly interesting there of this character, and I wish it was just more of, I'm not doing this for me, like you are fucked up. Your life's not good together. You lost your son. You're a mess. You're pretty much, and that's the whole movie's trying to do. It's Lethal Weapon. It's every other kind of war vet sort of storyline you've seen sometimes where the guy is just trying to die. He's just suicidal. He has nothing to live for. So they get in a fight, and then as they're fighting, the kid comes down and shoots him. That's the third thing. The kid kills a person. They don't really. He falls in Chris Hemsworth's arms, and he goes, I just want to go home. I want to go home. They don't really touch upon that he killed the man. I think there could have been some more dialogue warranted there. So then there's more action, and stuff like that. And then there's another side guy that was kind of trying to help the kid. They fought, and him and Chris Hemsworth fought at one point, and then they team up, and it's very just stuff you've kind of seen before because you knew they were going to team up because every other guy he came across that was in his way, he just murdered and obliterated, but this guy for some reason made it out of it. So I digress. So we get to the ending, right? Like I said, it's all running, chasing, action. And the point is, so the team that Hemsworth was working with, they got a helicopter. They're going to pick them up. Okay, we're getting the extraction point. Like I said, Call of Duty. They're going. Tons of guys on the bridge. The helicopter lands down. The helicopter is or a team lands there. I think lands or gets there with a vehicle, and they're guiding Hemsworth and Ovi to the, I hope his name is Ovi. I think it was. I thought that's what the subtitle said. They're guiding the extraction point. So people are getting cut off. There's the extraction team, there's a bridge, and there's Chris Hemsworth and Ovi on one side, and there's kind of a team somewhat in the middle sprinkled around. So it's like, you got to get across, right? So there's gunfire, there's shooting. He gets Ovi to the team, and it's very dramatic, but then he gets shot, I think, once on the side, and then after he gets shot in the back by a sniper. So it's, okay, Hemsworth is really not looking good. So what happens is he gets shot, and then this woman on the extraction team who's barely in this movie, she's on the team, but everybody gets no screen time. She takes out that sniper, but there's still a few guys left on this bridge. It looks like everybody around, sniper, stuff like that, is no longer because they would have just blown Hemsworth's head off. So it looks like it's Hemsworth versus, let's say, 4 guys on the bridge that are left. So you have Hemsworth in the middle of the bridge with the 4 guys, and then you have the extraction team. The team is 4 people. It's 3. It's this woman, and it's 2 other guys, and then it's Ovi. So what's happening is he's been shot in the back, Hemsworth, and he's deciding that, okay, he wants to make sure the kid gets to the helicopter, so he's taking these guys out. What they do is they just stand and watch. And I get it, they want to extract the kid, but these people, especially not many of the people, but the main actress acts like they are friends. I don't think they insinuate they were lovers or anything like that. She's the one that gave him the mission at the beginning of the movie. Insinuate there's a history there. She's watching, like, very emotionally. Oh my God. And that's fine, but they're doing nothing to help him. This man's been shot at least once, but he's dead, or maybe twice, but at least I can tell you the sniper got him in the back. There's a team of 3. All you got to do is the helicopter's about to land. Us 2, let's stay with the kid. Hey, Jimmy, let's say that's the other guy's name with her. Go help out Tyler. Take out some guys. Like, try to save him. That's what it felt like. They wanted to try and save him. But no, they literally are just standing there watching him on the bridge. Just, I hope he makes it out. No, oh my God, he's going to. And then, and then, so he's killing these people. They're still just watching. And then he gets shot in the neck. He gets shot in the neck, and it's just lame, and they react, and it's just, what should happen is, for me to believe that, in my opinion, is you get the kid, and then that whole team ran the helicopter, and they're on the helicopter, and it's flying away, and there's nothing more they can do. Because you know what happens in the scene? Exactly that. They get in the helicopter, and they go. Because then what happens is, the second Hemsworth gets shot in the neck, Ovi, the kid, runs, like one guy was holding him, runs out of his grasp, and he runs to him, and then the entire team goes with Ovi. So it's like, you compromised. You didn't even protect this kid. You let him run to Hemsworth, who was under fire, and then I think they killed that guy afterwards. Like, you let him run to the guy. So it's like, you could have sent one guy to help out this team guy, your friend, whatever it is. Even then, just a general courtesy. Like, this guy's been shot twice, but he still could live. There's other guys he's helping defend. Like, maybe go help him. Even then, if, let's say, he's defending and he gets gunned down and there's two other guys coming, at least one guy could be there defending, protecting Ovi. But no, that's not happening. And as you can tell, this ending trigger me so much because the way it's just laid out, it's very lame. It's very movie. It's very just, they could have wrote it so many other ways to stop it. But so Hemsworth gets shot, like, and they do this where Hemsworth gets shot. And the movie's very violent, actually. It earns its R rating. There's tons of headshots. There's like this very visual. Hemsworth takes this guy, puts him against a wall, and he like slits his throat like 3 times. Very brutal. Like, if you like that stuff, you'll like this movie. So he gets shot in the neck and he falls down. And the thing was, they've done this thing where they really emphasize that water shot at the beginning of the movie where he jumped down and he was floating in the water, just kind of like maybe considering just drowning himself there, right? But if not, he's just relaxing, thinking about his son. He's depressed. So the second he gets shot, he's up against the bridge's barrier, and behind it is a body of water. And I say to my significant other, he's gonna fucking end up in that water. Please do not jump back in that water. Don't do it. And then what happens is he gets shot in the neck, but he's working his way up. He's working his way up. And, of course, Ovi's running to him, and they stop him because they got to get over the extraction point. The helicopter's coming. And he, like, sits up a little against the water, and then he falls backwards. And it's like the same shot at the beginning of the movie where he ends up in the water. And it's just like, oh, my God. It's so annoying. And it gets worse. So they do this thing where they show Ovi's getting back to regular life. His team takes out some other person who was kind of the guy who was like, all the people on the ground against Hemsworth or the kid are all the soldiers. And then throughout the movie, you got these boring scenes of the head mobster, head whatever crime lord being, where's the kid? I thought he was dead, but like just generic bad guy stuff, right? That lady who's on the extraction team, he's taking a piss in a restaurant. She kills him. You're getting Ovi back to his regular life. And then what happens is, so Ovi is at a pool. He goes up on a diving board. That's great. The one time I did this thing on a diving board, if you go look up Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb, I did that to impress a bunch of people in grade 6. I had applause after, but I did like a belly flop, but right on my back. Man, I was in pain for days, and it was such a big mark, and I can still feel it. So he's on a diving board, similar like Travis Snell was in grade 6. He dives. He lands in the water. We're really emphasizing this water because guess what? He's doing the same thing. He's sitting there, Hemsworth, at the beginning of the movie, hair just going wavy and whatnot. So the water, we get it. And it's a movie, so I get it. But the way they position it is kind of like Hemsworth said, oh, well, on my downtime, I do this water thing. And it helps me relax or I get through my emotions. So that's the way they're portraying. Like, he lands in the water and Ovi's just sitting there, like, thinking about things. But it's like, you don't know anything about this, so this is just lame already. But lo and behold, so this is happening. He comes out the water. No one else is around the pool. But in the distance, we see a shadowy figure. And it, like, gets a little clearer. And then Ovi whips his head. He whips his head. And then it cuts to black. And it is Chris Hemsworth. You never get the full reel, but it's his hair color, it's his body shape, and it's just who else would it be? Because there's no one there, and he whips around dramatic Ovi. That's the problem. Is this movie is try to be super realistic with its maybe not with its action, but just a realistic tone, in my opinion. That okay, this guy's an ass kicker, tons of action, but it doesn't feel like it's fantastical. It's not Chris Hemsworth jump. There is one point where he throws Ovi from building to building. I thought that was I don't believe that, but that's fine. It's not a huge building, but still, he's like, "What do you do? Do you trust me?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Okay," and he just takes him and throws him. So all right, but you're telling me so Hemsworth, because I forgot to mention when Hemsworth falls back in the body of water, unless we saw something there's something off screen, but for what we know is this team got on the helicopter and left. They extract Ovi out of there. So he's been shot one or two times already, at least once by a sniper in the back. He's been shot through the neck. And when I mean the neck, it wasn't a graze. He got shot from the back, and then because he's walking and he gets shot backwards, and then the blood pops at the front throat. So he probably has 2 bullet holes in his throat. I'm not a doctor. I've never been to war. I'm not a first aid med. I should ask Kyle. I would just think if you get if you're already shot and then you get shot through the neck, you're gonna bleed out very quickly and die. And maybe, and here's the case, maybe not. Maybe if they would have picked him up and brought him on the helicopter, okay, that's fine. Maybe there is a way to save him. I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty deadly wound, but maybe there is a way. I'm not a doctor. I've never dealt with bullet wounds. But he falls in the water. And maybe by chance, he falls in the water and the helicopter swoops down and gets him. But this helicopter, at least the helicopter, that's the only helicopter that came to pick them up, that's the closest, through the other direction. So unless off screen, it flies back around and picks him up, which is very lame. And that would put Ovi in danger, which they didn't want to do. They let Hemsworth die for this. So he's been shot. Let's say he didn't get shot that time in the stomach. He got shot once by a sniper. He got shot through the neck. He fell a great height too. It'd be painful for his body. He fell a great height from a bridge to a body of water, and then he just continued to bleed in the water for who knows how long. But he's alive. Fucking lame. And that's where you can make stuff generic. And I guess for me that's fine. I can get a good enough watch, but I like Chris Hemsworth. I like action movies enough. I can enjoy this. And I could have said that about this review. But when you do that type of ending, you just feel like the directors make me feel like they think I or the people watching this are dumb. Whereas the directors or writers of just, you want me to buy this? Now, in something, I'd say like Tarantino's Kill Bill, people die from all sorts of wounds. But you know what? That is a very heightened sense of reality type of movie. Like that, the way that first part ends is nuts with her fighting all those ninjas and everything like that. You expect that. Where to me, this movie never crossed that line where you thought, okay, we can kind of believe the hyper realism. I think it was really realistic, or going for a realistic tone until the last 20 minutes, and then just and it felt that they were trying to go, oh, he's alive, not even for a story purpose. There's, I guess, okay, Ovi's there, but just to set up a lame sequel and be like, you like Extraction? Here's Extraction 2. And I could see, I'm not. If people like or really enjoy this movie, I get it. Just for me, that really took me out of it, and I just think that was some really lame writing for your ending. There's so many ways. Get him shot, let him get shot, take him to the copter, and don't show us on screen if he lived or died, and then he shows up at the pool. Yeah, maybe it's not as, oh, is he going to make it because he got on the copter? Like, we know, because if he's on the copter, there's a chance he makes it. But at least it's still realistic. Did he make it? Did he not? Are they not going to answer it? And then when he shows up at the pool, you go, he made it. And you know why? It's realistic because the medics got him. And you go, okay, they answered that question. He made it. Great. Maybe I'd be down for a sequel. But for him to just get fucking massacred on the bridge and left bleeding and die, and this isn't the MCU where, to me, if you do that to those characters, that's fine because that's hyper-realism. They're gods. They are people with suits. They're people with magic. They're people with science that we don't even have. They have gloves that snap people away. I can buy it there. I can buy it in comic book world and buy it in Tarantino. I did not buy it this. And that, like I said, I felt offended in a very first world problem sort of sense as far as film goes. I was like, really? This is what we're doing? Okay. Fuck you. And then when it came out with all the people that were involved, I was like, really? Just scratching my head. So a 4.9. Those are my thoughts on Extraction. I will think about this movie again because the ending, but I will never watch this movie again. I like some sort of action scenes, but if I was dying to see them, I'd watch, I don't know, a YouTube scene. But really, I can just watch John Wick again, or I'll go watch 2 and 3, or I'll watch other action movies, Atomic Blonde, that I like the character or the story a bit better. So I hope you like what I did here. If you enjoyed it, let me know down in the comments below, or hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. If you, like me, hated the ending, please let me know. I'd love to talk about more. If you liked it, defend to me. If you've been shot through the neck, especially message me, because I'd like to know. That's no offense. I'd like to know, because if you survived that, you're fucking badass and good for you. And you can tell me this is possible. Now I'd also ask you, is it possible falling off that bridge if you would survive? Then we can have a conversation. But I thank everybody as always for tuning into these reviews. Check out my other ones. I'm going to be doing My Spy. I'm hopefully going to be doing Bad Education. We got newscasts coming. We got lots of good things. So thank you very much for tuning in. I promise you, when you hear from me next, I'll not be boring.